Hi, I'm Joshua Hayward, and welcome to Life Readings, Stars and Cards for the Week. And we have kind of an interesting and possibly even exciting week as the Sun and the planet Mercury, both on Tuesday, April 20th, move into the sign of Taurus, and kicking off that Taurian experience for us this year, which happens, of course, every year following the sign of Aries. And so yes, that solar energy of that really clear focus, and so this is a Taurian month, and it really has that clear focus of what's important to us, what our value systems are, what our relationship with money, our relationship with the earth. And Earth Day is kind of coming up here. Interesting and really appropriate to have it in the sign of Taurus, which is, of course, the fixed and really very prominent Earth sign. It's a very sign that talks about love, and it talks about being here and what that's about and what that means for us and almost like to us as well. So keeping that in mind, all right, so begin to think of yourself as you're listening as what is actually really fundamentally my value system and what's important to me, and am I living into that? And as you're thinking that, now think that, well, the thinking sign or the mental sign, the planet of communication, Mercury, joins the Sun, and it also joins the planet Venus. Venus is a little bit further down in the sign. They both enter, Mercury and the Sun enter at 0, and right now Venus is somewhere around 7 or 8 degrees, something like that. And then also the planet Uranus is at 9, almost 10 degrees. So as the Sun and Mercury enter, we already have 2 planets. So that's 4 planets. That's kind of amping it up there within the Taurian energy. And there's also the little asteroid called Lilith, which is later on at somewhere almost 20 degrees of the sign of Taurus. So we have several planets this week, and next week they will kind of continue to go through Taurus as well. But we're looking at this week, and let's look at it in terms of these planets collecting in early Taurus, how we think about our lives and what's important to us on the inner as well as the outer. And how are we communicating, and what are we thinking about our lives? And also Venus, it's really got to do with love, and it's got to do with what we value and ownership and things like that. What's our relationship with love? How do we love ourselves? Are we centered in practical stuff on the earth here? Is our mind working that way? Because if it's not, the planet Uranus there is the planet of destabilization and change. So it's really making us look at what might need to be changed. And keeping in mind that Lilith later on, even though it's not really within that tight group of those planets, it's still, it's a blind spot type of asteroid that then maybe there's some tucked away anger and some deep rumblings about what wants to be experienced and what might want to come out and what might want to be possessed and valued. And so we have enough love in our lives? And are we respecting ourselves? What is our relationship with relationship? What is our relationship with the way we process things in the mind? What's being held back that wants to escape? And one thing, just really briefly, that the planet Uranus is not just in the sign of Taurus. It's on an aspect to another planet, Saturn, in the sign of Aquarius. And that it's on a square, which is a very hard kind of aspect that we're dealing with. And this aspect will be with us for many months. And so it's something to consider. This week we consider it under a structural idea of like, how is our structure working? And not only are we living our own values, and are we loving within our own value system, and are we possessing with our own value system? Is the structure of that, Saturn and Aquarius, is it working for our sense of independence and our sense of interdependence and freedom and liberty in our own lives? In the general picture, there's always lots of stuff going on, and in the early days of 2021, carrying over from 2020 with all the issues that we've been having in life, it really is very important to us right now to structure our lives so that we can be free and with less limitations, a better structure for us to move in our lives, independent of what's going on transpersonally or in the bigger picture, of which is very muddied up, okay? So what are these things? How are we going to feel better inside? How are we going to take those really solidified good feelings and to move out into the outer world and into our external circumstances? So, I'm going to start shuffling these cards and hopefully considering some of the things that I've been saying as I'm shuffling here, considering your life. And what might need to happen with that. And here's some helpful stuff. And I'm going to pull, three cards today. We're going to be working with 3 cards. And the first card that I'm coming up with is the Ten of Cups, which denotes fulfillment or a sense of well-being. These cups are not only filled up, but they're overflowing, and they seem to be refilling. And so that's a fulfilling life. There's some satisfaction. So looking to that really plays into what's been said already. Is my life fulfilling? And do I feel that? And that's more pertaining to the inner about what's happening in the outer. Right, let's work with a second card here. And what I'm pulling is, so that was a nice card. You want those cups to be filled. But this card is something that may be happening this week. To look at the conflict and the strife that's in your life. The creative energies that being blocked, the Saturn in the sign of Leo in this card, and you can see the energies kind of caught up. And Leo is the sign of creativity, so we really want our hearts to be open and moving, and so it's a really good idea to see what's blocking up and blocking us up with our efforts to move. Maybe what we're trying to do needs to be looked at and rethought. Maybe it needs to be canned. Maybe it needs to be done in a different way. Maybe it needs to be done with a different perception. So remember that fulfillment is kind of like, that's the first card, so it's kind of about that. And so this is what's available for this week. So as you go through your week, these are some really important issues. And this is really cool. So I was talking about the sun being in Taurus. Well, here's the sun. And for the third and the final card, and for this week in Stars and Cards, we're looking at the most positive card in the deck, and that is the solar energy. That is the sun, where all things are possible. All the astrological signs are surrounding. There's relationship here, there's safety, there's the greenness of the earth, there's the consciousness there. So this is a great week as the sun moves into Taurus. Think about the sun card and how we want our lives to be like this. We want that fulfillment of the Ten of Cups. And we want to break through that conflictual kind of card there, that strife card, or that Five of Wands. And so really that must have so much to do with us aligning who we are on the inner with what's happening in our lives. So that's what it's about for this week, and hope you got something really positive out of that. And be sure to hit the subscribe button and the like button if you like that. And of course on this channel, on the channel here, there's going to be lots of other things. There's different series. I've done the Sacred Warrior series, and now really fully engaged into another series which has to do with asking questions, spiritual inquiry, and it's called The Teachings, and finding out about Christ in consciousness. So anyway, have a great week, and hope you join us for next week. And many blessings to you. Namaste, and be well.